Hey Grand Adventurers, welcome back. I'm your host Mark Guido and we are camped in the mountains above Los Alamos, New Mexico. But we didn't get here without incident. We'll explain all of that and more on this episode, so stay tuned. Well, you may recall at the beginning of last episode, I got new tires for the trailer because I was afraid of a blowout. Here's what happens to a 5-day-old tire. Okay, aside from losing a brand new tire, none the worse for wear. And no damage. I am so psyched, no damage. Of course, the pressure on the spare was low, so before we go anywhere, I need to air that up. But after about 20 minutes, we were back on the road and we made it here safe and sound. We're camped in a place called Camp May, which is operated by the city of Los Alamos. It's a small campground right at the base of the slopes of Pajarito Mountain ski area. We had intended to boondock, but signs like these recently sprung up like wildflowers all along the Camp May road. No matter, for Camp May itself turned out to be a wonderful substitute. It's dry camping for $10 per night. Payable at the aquatic center in town. Sites are small, but there are a couple that can accommodate an RV. Right at an elevation of 9,300 feet, Camp May is adjacent to not only the ski trails, but Pajarito Mountain's mountain bike trails run a mere 25 feet behind our rig. It's cool and comfortable at this altitude, and the Aspen forest is lush and green. If anybody who's been skiing at least as long as I have will recognize this right here as a Rivlet center pole double chairlift manufactured by the Rivlet Tramway Company of Spokane, Washington. They went out of business sometime, I think, in the 1980s. So this is an old double chairlift indeed. But there are more modern lifts here at Pajarito. I have a hard time saying that. They also have a wonderful extensive network of mountain biking trails that we're going to use for hiking while we're here. We're also going to check out, we're only about an hour's drive from the beautiful community of Santa Fe, the state capital of New Mexico. We're going to check that out while we're here. And of course, being in Los Alamos, the birthplace of the atomic bomb, we would be remiss if we didn't examine Los Alamos' role in ending World War II. Finally, we're only a few miles from Bandelier National Monument, which provides a fascinating glimpse into the lives of ancient Puebloan people who lived in cliff dwellings along the walls of Frijoles Canyon. So let's first take a drive over there and check out Bandelier National Monument. Bandelier has only 3 miles of public road within its over 33,000 acre national monument, but over 70 miles of hiking trails. It preserves the homes and territory of the ancestral Puebloans from 2 eras, dating between 1150 and 1600 AD, who settled in Frijoles Canyon because of the water provided by a reliable creek. This large kiva served as a center for community and religious events for the inhabitants of Frijoles Canyon, many of whom lived in a large pueblo on the canyon floor. Others, however, chose to carve their residences out of the volcanic tuff that forms the walls of Frijoles Canyon. It looks like sandstone, but this tuff is actually compressed volcanic ash up to 1,000 feet thick from an eruption of the nearby Valles Caldera volcano 1.2 million years ago. Water erodes small caves in the tuff, which Puebloans carved out before blackening the ceilings to harden the tuff. Puebloans used harder material found in the canyon to form bricks to build other structures. The cliff dwellings vary widely in size, with some barely large enough to hold a couple of people, while others are rather spacious. If you're feeling up to it, if the heat during your visit is not too intense, and you're not afraid of heights, it's worthwhile to continue another half-mile up the canyon past the cliff dwellings to climb to see the ruins at Alcove House. That was a fascinating hike. From the visitor center up through the loop around the cave dwellings, through the Pueblo and around the cave dwellings, and then on to Alcove House. It's about 2.5 miles round trip to get back to the visitor center. And I'll give you folks a tip. This is another place to have your dogs with you. Even though dogs aren't allowed on the trails, because the dogs were in the truck, we were actually allowed to park right here at the visitor center rather than the other visitor center 12 miles away in White Rock, where you have to ride a mandatory shuttle to get here. So it certainly made the visit to Bandelier National Monument much easier for us. If you've got your dogs along, don't be shy about leaving them in the truck as long as it's cool enough like it is today. It's a beautiful day. It's low 70s, gorgeous sunshine, found a nice shady parking spot for the pups. And if you want to camp right in the National Monument, the Juniper Campground offers small dry campsites connected right to Frijoles Canyon by the 1.5-mile Fry Trail. A few miles below Camp May, via a very steep road, right atop the Pajarito Plateau, sits the town of Los Alamos, home to the Los Alamos National Laboratory. Prior to the lab's creation in 1943, there was nothing here. That all changed with the arrival of Dr. Robert Oppenheimer, charged by the U.S. government with the responsibility to develop the tremendous deadly potential of an atomic bomb in an effort to bring an end to World War II. As a result, As a town purpose-built by the government, Los Alamos still feels somewhat cold and sterile. Some 11,000 people live here, the vast majority employed by the lab, which still functions today. If you come to Los Alamos to camp, wait until you arrive to secure your provisions, for the Smith's Marketplace, the only supermarket in town, is easily, hands down, the most remarkable grocery store I've ever seen anywhere. Seriously, when have you ever seen an in-store beer and wine bar sandwiched between the produce and bakery departments? Or an Asian bar so thorough that it even includes a wide selection of mochis for dessert. Now, we can't film within the laboratory itself, but we can show you its museum located right in downtown Los Alamos, a wonderful free facility that's divided into 3 halls: Defense, Research, and History. The History section explains the impetus behind the lab's development during World War II, and follows the timeline all the way through the dropping of the world's first atomic bombs on Japan, a decision that thankfully ended the Allies' bloody march across the Pacific towards the Japanese mainland. A 16-minute documentary film plays in an adjacent auditorium. Of course, the museum includes replicas of Little Boy, the uranium bomb dropped on Hiroshima, and Fat Man, the plutonium bomb dropped several days later on Nagasaki. Finally, the museum includes a large number of hands-on exhibits to teach kids about a wide range of sciences. It's a beautiful morning, so we're going to walk right from camp and use Pajarito Mountain's spiking trails to hike to the 10,400-foot summit. Pajarito provides chairlift service for mountain biking on weekends, but on this Tuesday morning, we've found the mountain largely deserted. Some of the bike park's features are absolutely insane. No way, no how. The devastating Las Conchas fire destroyed the forest on most of the mountains surrounding the ski area in 2011 and was at the time the largest fire in New Mexico history. It was only through the valiant efforts of wildland firefighters that the ski area itself was barely spared. Even today, though, you can see the forest returning to life, like this healthy stand of aspen trees springing up right in the middle of the burn scar. The ski area borders right up against the Valles Caldera National Preserve. Views from the ridgeline stretch into the caldera, one of the world's largest. This is Cerro del Medio, a volcanic dome with Valle Toledo beyond. Other sweeping views from Pajarito Mountain stretch from Los Alamos to the east and beyond across the New Mexico desert to the Santa Fe Mountains. To the south, vistas include the Sandia Mountains and the Albuquerque desert areas. So that was a great hike. I'm up here on top of Pajarito. I keep mispronouncing that mountain. About 10,400 feet here with the dogs. They're actually doing some work on the cell tower up here today. I'm here with my new buddy CJ. Come on over, introduce yourself. CJ, welding inspector from Albuquerque.
Hi everybody.
Yeah, and we've been here chatting up on top of Pajarito Mountain. So I think it's getting time. We've had a snack, had some water. I think it's ready to time to head back down. With Santa Fe only an hour away, via a gorgeous drive at that, it would be a true shame to not visit this charming artist city while camping in the Los Alamos area. Like most historic towns in this area dating to the Spanish era, Santa Fe is built around a plaza in the center of town. Also a center of life for the community, as it is on this beautiful late August afternoon. Native Americans gather on the north side of the plaza to sell jewelry and other native wares. Just as they did when I remember my mother buying turquoise silver jewelry here 45 years ago. There are also several art museums just off the plaza, including the New Mexico Museum of Art and the Museum of Contemporary Native Arts. Have I mentioned how much I love Indian casinos and reservations? So we started this episode with the tire. We're going to finish it with the tire. Of course, you remember this episode began with our blowout on the side of the road. When we went to Santa Fe, we brought the tire and the rim to Discount Tire, who's a Goodyear dealer. They contacted Goodyear on our behalf. And instead of allowing their dealer to be their eyes and their ears on a warranty claim, I mean, let's face it, this is a $150 tire. What does it cost Goodyear to make? $30 maybe? Goodyear is asking that the tire be sent back to them for analysis and testing. And they will render a decision on the warranty claim within, get ready for this, 8 to 16 weeks. Now, obviously it's patently unreasonable for them to expect us to wait around 2 to 4 months with 3 wheels on the trailer. So we went ahead and bought another Goodyear Endurance tire so that way we could get back on the road. To be honest with you, I'm very disappointed in Goodyear's customer service. I would expect on an item that small, especially, they would allow their dealers to be their eyes and their ears for the warranty claim. But no, they're going to make us wait, and frankly, if Goodyear reimburses me sometime before the end of 2018, so be it. But we're now down in Albuquerque, and it wasn't without another roadside incident that we got to Albuquerque. So I will save that for the next episode, which you can see if you make sure that you're one of our Grand Adventurers. Hit that subscribe button, the little red one right down there in the corner, and ring that notification bell to get instant notification of each new video that we upload to Grand Adventure. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up down below. And as always, we'd love to receive your feedback in the comment section also below this video. And until next time, please remember, life is nothing but a grand adventure, especially with all these roadside incidents. We'll see you soon.